What's poppin', y'all? The nuclear fallout that's happening from this whole Hassan dog situation is insane. And you really start to see like the mob that runs around Twitch because people are trying to defend him. Of course, one of the individuals that self-inserted was none other than Valkyrae. Valkyrae is a popular streamer. She originally blew up via Fortnite, if I'm not mistaken. And then she was really, really big when the whole Among Us craze was going on. And now she just does her thing. She's still a very, very popular figure. But she, of course, got asked about it in the chat, and then she answered, which I don't think she should have talked about the situation at all. But after she gets a bunch of backlash when she tried to defend Hassan, she went on Twitter and did the equivalent of somebody button mashing on Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or some other fighting game. She said, F ICE, F this genocide, F pedos, F animal abuse, free Palestine, and congrats Jason for hitting 100k subs. This Jason is Jason Lewine, FaZe Jason, and when I saw this, I was like, what? This is unreal. And the reason why I made that comparison is because she was facing heat. It's kind of like when somebody's losing in Street Fighter, especially when it's players that don't really know how to play. My hand is raised. I don't really know how to play. So if someone starts button mashing on me, I'm cooked. It's clipped. It's over. The game is the game. So she's trying to button mash her way out of controversy where she's like, okay, so like, what can I say that's obvious that people that like me or that are against me right now would be like, oh, let me co-sign that. So she just button mashes like everything that people seem to not like. Other than the only thing I think that would be controversial is the ICE one where people are like, oh, well, if people are here illegally, they should be removed. And some people are like, well, if people were brought here when they were kids, they shouldn't be removed and you're breaking up families and this and that. So that one, there's a debate to be made. But everything else is like, okay, I don't really see how you can debate that. It's kind of like saying, like, dude, I hate people that hit other people and I hate people that steal. And we're like, all right, okay. And then she got crazy. This got 115,000 likes. That's the crazy part. But she got a lot of pushback for this. And people were like, wait, hold on. So how are you putting it? She's just deflecting too. So people are concerned with the situation of Hassan and his dog. And then she says, well, why don't you guys just care about all this other stuff? Like, just typical whataboutism. And then she throws Jason Lewine hitting 100k subs with this other stuff too. So not only is it button mashing, but you're button mashing ineffectively. Anyway, she got a bunch of, in the safe space that she exists in, she got a bunch of people saying, oh, this is so hard. We love this and that. And someone said, I care about the current thing too. Actually, I think I've seen this individual before. He's somebody that does not agree with her. So I don't think his response is okay. So she gets a bunch of heat for this. And what does she do? She addresses this heat. And I'm just like, yo, is this lady a dunce? I think this girl is dumb as a bag of bricks. And I will name you two other streamers that are female streamers that I don't think are dumb. I don't think Pokimane is dumb, and I don't think what's her name? The Amaranth. I don't think either of them are dumb. I think they're quite cunning. This girl, she's dumb. And I'm going to play you guys this clip right now.
And that's okay. I messaged two people about LSF. I messaged Nick Polam and I messaged Asmon Gold. I asked both of them. I was like, hey, I don't really use Reddit a whole lot, but like, do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea if I respond to a post and be like, oh, I understand where you guys are coming from. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I should have definitely like spoken about it differently. And both of them reassured me that it's a good idea to not, because I know they're like, they're Reddit people. So I was like, they both said, they're both very nice. And they both said, yeah, don't respond. It's not a good idea. Yes. Yes, Asmongold and Nick Pollum, because I know those are like the two people that I know like participate in Reddit stuff a lot. So I got some.
So off rip, I'm listening to her. I'm like, wait, hold on. You just publicly said that you went to Asmongold. NMP LOL is this guy Nick Pollum that she's talking about is NMP LOL. He's just another streamer. And I'm like, you mentioned that you went to Asmongold for advice on how to handle something with streaming. Can you not even read the room that you decorated? Like, you built this audience, you built this fan base, and you think that you saying that you went to Asmongold for advice is going to help you? Oh my God, she was not I knew that the storm that was coming after this. And this was the storm that was coming because, of course, people tweeted it and they said, so all that F ICE and Free Palestine slogans from Valkyrae were performative BS? Wow, get that. That's surprising to you? She went to Asmongold for advice? The guy who wanted to, quote, catch migrants at the border like Pokemon? Well, Pokemon, you don't send them back and release them. He wanted to catch them and just catch and release, like some fish stuff. Or you could say, like, maybe remove a hornet's nest. Maybe that's how he looked at it more so. And who called Palestinians subhumans, deserving of... I don't think that's exactly what he said, but we will get to what he said. But she starts getting a bunch of heat for this. So you already know behind the scenes, she's like, oh my goodness, how do I handle this? And she's got to ask people because she's brain dead. There is not something working in between those ears. So her community went crazy on her for talking to this guy Asmongold. And I'll just read you a couple of ones that got a bunch of engagement. So one individual said, I stopped watching Ray streams a while ago just because I got tired of the I'm dumb. And so she agrees that she's dumb too. Or is that performative? Well, performative or not, like, unfortunately, Valkyrae, you are dumb. And I don't say this as an insult. Like, there are dumb people, there are smart people, there are average intelligence people, there are short people, there are tall people, there are average height people. It's just objective. Now she's a hard worker. I will say that. She's entertaining to her audience. I will say that. And she knows how to keep up with trends on her in her industry. She's very good at that. But brains, we don't all got it. I mean, I've barely got enough to, keep the lights on or figure out how to work this microphone because people always keep grilling me about that. I'm stupid when it comes to that. I'm not saying I got brains. An excuse for so many important topics, especially when she is close to people who can literally inform her on things. So I'm not surprised, but it still sucks. As a Middle Eastern viewer, I feel like I need to say this. Talking to that guy after she said Free Palestine makes it feel like it was performative. If you truly believe in that statement, why would you associate yourself with the guy that stands with the complete opposite of it? Ray, some people dislike you because you're true. Don't lose your truth just to earn their approval. If you twist to be liked by everyone, those who loved your real shape will no longer... Okay, this person's trying to get poetic and metaphorical. I mean, get the hell out of here. And then, yeah, they just keep grilling her. They grilled her like crazy. And this does go... I will say that her community does have a reason for being like, wait, hold on. You dropped that tweet and then you hit up Asmongold? Because a year ago, October of 2024... Asmongold made these comments when people asked him about what was going on in Gaza. And I'm going to play you guys the clip. It was rather insensitive, to say the least.
If you want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way. They'd be doing the same thing. And how much did they kill? As many as they can. They're not able to kill as many people as Israel because they don't have as many bombs and as many weapons. But if they did, they'd be doing the same thing. That's it. Just takes enough. That's right. These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible. It kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways. It is that simple. No, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care. I don't support them.
This was one of the most ill-informed opinions ever, like one of the most ignorant opinions ever. Like, there is no law written in, as far as I know, that says for Muslims that they have to, or Sharia law that says that they have to, or they are able to wipe out systematically a race of people. That is, I haven't seen that. Now, people will say things like, yeah, conquering, I think that's allowed. I believe a bunch of other things. But the fact that he said, they would be doing the same thing is odd, because historically, too, the group of people that is committing this, they were welcomed into a lot of empires or nations that were under Sharia law. So he was just ill-informed here, but he was quite aggressive with his take, and people were justifiably upset about it. And then he also tweeted a year prior and said, "Weird as F to see so many people coming out with statements about the conflict as if they need to comment on it," which he commented on it a year later. "Can we please stop this weird culture around expecting people with no relevant background or education to talk about world events or politics?" And he did that later. However, he slowly understood, or he educated himself, the actual version of education. So there's two definitions of education. There's someone informs themselves on a subject or topic, and then there's definition 2, which is what the majority of people are using, which is agrees with me. So uneducated means you don't agree with me. Educated means you agree with me. I'm talking about the actual definition. Definition number 1, which is he informed himself on something, and he just got a more nuanced take on it after learning a couple of things, which he did get a lot of heat, but I think that was mature of him to just become more aware. And he said this year, so there was 2024, there was 2023, and then there's this year, he said that he's not a fan of people using it as a shield, which is what people do a lot. So I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
He showed the comment where you said stop using Palestine as a shield. Well, I'm right. A lot of pro-Palestinian people, I think, use Palestine as a shield for bad behavior. And I think there's a lot of, narcissistic people that latch on to social movements like Palestine, and they're like little parasites, and they attach themselves to these social movements, and they suck all of the virtue, all of the value, all of the objective moral clarity out of it. And then they replace it with their own polluted image, their own stupid politics, their own self-righteousness, and they damage the cause because they don't care about the cause. They care about themselves. They care about making themselves look like being a righteous person. And I think that they do it with the pro-Palestine stuff. They do it with all kinds of things. And I find it to just be embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing, and it's pathetic. And ultimately, and this is really what matters the most, right? Is this helping the random children? Which, by the way, keep in mind, the majority of people that are in Palestine and Gaza are under 18. The majority of them, over 50% of them, are under 18. Are comments like trying to pollute the Gazan struggle of Palestinians being bombed by Israel and oppressed by Hamas, is it helping when you pollute that issue with a dog drama on Twitch?
This is an excellent point that he makes, and we've seen this done through almost every tragedy. Like, people will latch on to certain movements, like certain health-based movements, whether it was like veganism, and they will create unhealthy products to make a ton of money with, because they're like, oh, I can tap into this emotion that people feel about something that they think is unjust, which in terms of veganism would be like harming animals, and I can capitalize on that. But the situation he's talking about here is not just capitalizing on the fame, or it's you automatically get labeled as a good person if you support this. And what does a narcissist or someone that wants to be liked or that really, really wants to be liked, they're going to attach themselves to something that everyone's going to be like, oh, this guy's a good person. He supports this. He has to be a good person. Even though they may behave towards other people or do underhanded things that are dishonest. In this case, for example, what Asmongold is referring to is Hassan trying to deflect from the situation that he was getting criticism for with a bigger situation that he feels should get attention and visibility, which it is getting attention and visibility and has been getting attention and visibility. So what does Valkyrae do? Does she stand 10 toes down? Absolutely not. Her brain just sparks up and she throws this guy under the bus. We're talking Julius Caesar, Brutus levels of backstabbing. I watched this and I said, wow, not only are you dumb, but you are. And I also felt bad for her a little bit because you can see the panic where she's almost saying, like, please, like, what do I have to say? This is what she wanted to say. What do I have to say for you guys to just like me again? And I'm going to play you guys this clip right now. You have to pay attention to this.
Are you going to address the elephant? Yeah, of course. I tend to always be addressing the elephant. I see you. I did a deep dive last night. In fact, all night. At the end of the day, it is my fault for not being aware enough. And I apologize to my community. It was probably so hurtful and so jarring. I'm under a rock, and that's my fault. So, you didn't do anything wrong. I think everyone, including myself, should be more aware of, what's going on in the world and what people are saying. I just like, it is my fault at the end of the day. That is my fault. It's literally no one's fault but my own. I'm not aware enough, and that's on me. Never be afraid to speak up. Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like, I'm going to do a better job of also be, like, more vocal about how I feel about important issues. Ray, you're a good role model still at this point. I don't think so. I don't think I am. I think I have a good job of recognizing when I do mess up and accepting that and being okay with it. But and it's all good. It's all like I hear you guys. I see you guys. You're right. You're so right. And it is 100,000% my fault for not being aware enough. And I need to be more proactive in being aware of people and what's going on in this world. Listen, guys, even when it's happening to me, it is 1,000% okay to hold people accountable for actions and mistakes, okay? I think that the biggest discourse is seeing, like, I feel like the community is split. Like, some people are being too harsh, some people are not being harsh enough, and it's like I see you, okay? It is a good thing. And because of that, I was able to do like a deep dive. I was able to leave my rock and see and be more aware of it. And I need to be more aware, She has to be careful or she'll lose her MAGA simps. I hope I've never had a MAGA simp in my life. I hate MAGA. Hello? Please. Where did that come from? It's actually even weird seeing the word MAGA in my chat. I feel like you're in the wrong place. Oh dear God. No. I feel like I have. Listen, I'm not the most vocal as I should have been, but I feel like I have been vocal about where my stances lie, okay? With the charities that I've done, with what I donate to, with people that I associate with, people that I hang out with. you know, what I do, it's, oh, God, that's terrifying. That's how I know I f***ed up. I'm unsubbing. Please unfollow, block me, please, please, please. We are not the same. We are not the same. God. Oh, God. Hi, Scootish. Free Palestine and free guys. Yes, RT. Yes, I've always felt that. I've always felt that. Ray, stop responding. Why? Am I saying anything wrong? I feel like it would be worse for me to not say anything at all. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like, if anything, I feel like I haven't been saying enough for the past 10 and a half years of my streaming extravaganza. We're here for gaming, not politics. I think that not every deep issue is politics, but it's more so like morals. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's just like a morals thing. Basic humanity. Basic humanity doesn't equal politics. Life is political. Yeah, literally just existing. You can't let yourself live in a bubble forever. Yes, I agree. I think that I think that I am in a bubble. I would like to not be a bubble anymore.
Like, this is the thing. She's just placating. Like, she reads a comment. She's like, yeah, you know, you're right. Yeah, I need to be held accountable. Yeah, you know, people should be educated and I should be educated. And this is why I really, truly understand. Do you live in a prison like this? Or do you live with the liberation of, yay, I'm the villain. We're not gonna read the lyrics of the rest of, well, I'm not reading the lyrics, but we're not gonna recite the lyrics after that of that song. But can't you feel the liberation that came from Ye? Which, granted, I do think Ye did not have to liberate himself that much, but just like a 2013 Ye, right, with Yeezus, where he's like, man, F this. I'm not gonna be what you feel that I should be. I'm gonna buck this. And it's so much better than just being trapped in like these golden shackles that this lady is in. And it's even funnier when she gets like to the MAGA section of her spiel, and she's like, no, like, because she's probably like, oh no, I'm probably gonna get hate for that too. And I think this girl Valkyrae can be broken down with 2 layers of why, which is, she's saying like, no, I hope I never had that. I'm totally not that. They would just say, well, why do you hate that? And then she would probably struggle to come up with an answer. And then you just get another layer of why, and she would just fizzle out. The program would it would break. That's it. She doesn't know why she has any opinion. It's just, well, this opinion gets people to not like me, and this opinion gets people, this opinion gets people off my back. So she's constantly on the run. All this money, all this clout, and she's just in fear, in perpetual fear of this mob. And then you gotta feel really bad when the person gives her the best advice, which is to stop responding. And she's like, wait, I really? Am I saying something wrong? Like, what am I saying wrong? Please tell me what to say. My hands are up. Or just, I feel like it would be worse if I didn't say anything. Just has no direction, just moving around like a leaf in the wind. And the worst part about this is that there's not one defense for her friend. Clearly you thought this guy was a friend. And let's say she's this good person that she espouses. I don't think she's a bad person. I do think labeling people as black or white is it's so reductive compared to how like some people may be thieves, but they might be doing. I really hate thieves, actually. I'm not even gonna dignify that. So we're gonna skip over that. Anyway, So you're friends with this individual. So clearly your judgment has been that he's treated you well. You guys have had great interactions. And then because a bunch of people dislike him, you are going to throw him under the bus? Like, you're not going to come out and say, like, listen, I know you guys feel this way about that guy and he may have said these things, but, you know, like, his mind has changed. Or, like, yeah, he has those opinions, but he's treated me very well. Just like you talked about that dude and his dog. You said, like, listen, I know that you guys saw what you saw, but in my experience, he's been great. He's treated that dog well. He's spoiled that dog. That's the most spoiled dog ever. You did not afford this guy Asmongold, who is your man's. That's your man's they're talking about. You explicitly said, not only, you asked him for advice, too, and you threw him under the bus like this. Grimy. And this guy that's familiar with both of them, the chief op of Hassan. And somebody in the last video was like, no, that's Destiny. No, I'm not saying that Hassan considers this guy his chief op. I'm saying this Tectone guy has declared Hassan his chief rival / villain. It's not a two-way thing. It's non-consensual, if you want to call it that. And he says, Asmongold sticks his neck out for Valkyrae to make sure she's okay and helps her navigate the discourse she's going through. And she stabs him in the back and affirms to her community that he is the evil, unforgivable human being that shouldn't even be talked to. Weak, pathetic, spineless. No wonder she has such an affinity for Hassan. She's just as spineless as Jellywig. I wouldn't say that dude Hassan is spineless. He's defended Pokimane through her controversy. He's taken a lot of hits. I mean, the guy is in danger. The guy's in physical danger. He couldn't go to TwitchCon because somebody might crash out on him. That's just how things have escalated. So that dude Hassan is not spineless. We're not doing that. This is your reminder. Do not help the weak. They will be the first to stab you in the back if it means saving their skin. That is facts. That statement's facts. I've said this 1,000 times. Asmongold is a good dude. Incredibly overhated. Bro is reasonable AF and his takes aren't even that crazy. I'm just going to be dead serious. I don't really know all of his takes, but he's had some shaky stuff just from what we've shown so far. If you got a problem with what that guy says, you're quite literally just a cat box. FD streamers, man, will call Asmon a piece of ish, then support a dog torture. See, none of these things are true. She didn't call him that, and he is not a dog torturer, even if he actually shocked it. Hope the clout's worth it. And even another individual really encapsulated this, and this guy doesn't get involved in any of this stuff, and that's this guy Roberto Blake. And he said, if you have to apologize to your audience for reaching out to a fellow creator for help who actually goes out of their way to help you, or afraid of who they see you follow or follow back because your audience chat wants to criticize and crucify you for associating with that person, and you take their word over your own experience of asking for and receiving help from someone who asks for nothing in return, and you let those people tell you this is an awful person, instead of dealing with how they actually treated you and behaved in your experience, you're not a grown adult who has developed a maturity level beyond high school peer pressure. That's facts. You don't have principles. In that situation, I would say you're an audience-captured coward and will sell out a friend, a good Samaritan, or anyone who helps you if popular opinion, the media, or the mob tells you to. You can't be trusted to do the right thing when it matters if you can't make up your own mind about your own experiences, or you need the internet to tell you who they feel is a good person. If your audience can tell you who to associate with, you're not an adult who understands how to set boundaries. Your audience captured by an unhealthy parasocial mob. This is the problem with streaming, though. It's so parasocial that you can't have a healthy relationship with an audience as a streamer, especially a personality streamer, and you've been doing it for so long. It will always become parasocial. That's how streaming is sustained. Who loves knowing or believing they have power over your life and toying with your life and making you feel insecure or powerful, using their attention and love as a currency to control you. I said what I said. And Asmongold addresses this. And this is one hell of a funny response. I'm going to play you guys that right now.
So Valkyrae apologizes to her community for DMing Asmongold. My fault for not being aware enough. Probably so hurtful and jarring. I think everyone, including myself, should be more aware of what's going on in the world. I'm not aware enough. I hear you guys. So she went out and she said this about me, obviously. Like, she basically apologized for messaging me, right? That's pretty much what it was. And I think that, honestly, the biggest mistake that she made is that she didn't message me twice. I do. Because she should have messaged me and asked if she should have told the community that she messaged me. And if she had done that, I'd have told her no. I would have. I think this is an own goal for her. It definitely is. And so anyway, and the thing is that, listen, her community, everybody, see, like, I don't view streaming, like, I'm friendly with people in streaming, but I don't confuse myself and delude myself into thinking that a lot of people will not, obviously. I would never want and expect a person to, like, you know, put their career at risk or to do something that would be bad for their community just for my ego or to make me look good, right? And so, like, I don't take this personally. I don't get upset about this. It doesn't bother me. I'm not mad about it, etc. And so that's really it. Tectone predicted you would have said something like this. So I don't know if he did or not. I'd have to go back and look. I can look at it after this. But yeah, I'm not mad about this. I don't really care. I think that it's funny, if you want me to be honest. Not in a way that I'm laughing at her misfortune, but in a way that it's just like, man, what a ridiculous situation, isn't it? So, but doesn't it put you off? It seems really inauthentic. Well, it doesn't seem inauthentic because it might seem inauthentic to you because you're not looking at it through the correct lens. So for me, it doesn't seem inauthentic because these people are primarily they're streamers because it's their job. So why would I get mad at somebody doing something that's in the best interest of their career? Why would I do that? So really, I mean, am I going to expect somebody to, you know, like, fall on their sword for some other opinion that I have? Absolutely not. So anybody can say anything that they want about me, and it doesn't really matter to me. I don't give a shit, right? It doesn't matter to me at all. And so that's it. And obviously, look at her VOD viewership, huge dip. Well, I don't know if people saw it or not. I have no idea. But it got 2.6 million views. And I didn't read a single positive comment. And obviously, like, yeah, she needs to set herself free from the mind prison that's progressive audience capture. It was hurtful if those fans are hurt by you speaking to someone that they invariably were going to leave for another dumb reason. So tell them to f off and the cool ones will stay. Probably true. I think that's accurate. And also, here's another component to this as well, is that I think that type of audience capture does happen, but it can always be scary to move away from it or try to change what you're doing because you never know what's going to happen. So, yeah, that's it. Streaming shit is optics. It's all optics. It always is, and it always will be.
That first part made me laugh, and it's true, and I can actually relate to it as well. Because you got to think how caring this guy is of her career, where he's telling her, like, hey, you should have messaged me what you were going to say, and I would have told you don't mention me. That's a good friend, because he understands. He's like, listen, I know we're cool. Your audience doesn't mess with me. This is business for you. You're trying to protect your business, and you saying that you're cool with me or that you got advice from me is going to be catastrophic. So how can you say that that person is a bad friend for thinking about you in that way? Absolutely not. And even if that was the scenario, I wouldn't even say anything bad about her. Or if she told him ahead of time, because this is the thing, she's unaware too. That's the problem with all this. And I don't know how she's this unaware. And this guy gave her so much grace. And we also got to take it into consideration where this chick's career is not going anywhere. Valkyrae has unlimited money. This chick is probably north of $50 million. Maybe even more than that. I would not be surprised. So what does he mean? And her career is not going to end. And, like, I understand where he's coming from, where it's like, hey, look, this is people's business. I want them to protect their business. But there's got to come a point in time where it's like, yo, that's your man's. Like, there's no way you're going to throw your man's under the bus. How? How do you do that? Like, how are you a human being that does that and then tells other people to be good people? What? And then you try to, like, just latch yourself onto things that you think are going to get the same parasocial psychos that wanted you ruined for having a friend that you believed has only treated you well and has only exhibited that, like, thrown under the bus. I just don't get it whatsoever. This guy cut her a lot of slack, to be honest. I would not have cut that chick. So like I said, wow, you really did me like that. I also do think it's a little bit lack of foresight on his behalf. Well, actually, I think he just thought that she would be more aware. I think if he knew that she was going to say that, just like he said, he would have said, don't mention my name for her own sake. But I think he believed that she was aware enough that her audience hates him. But I guess she wasn't even aware of what's going on in her own backyard. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Do you think this is a betrayal? How would you handle this? Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.